each one of those sites also populating to more sites. So now, I might have 30 media accounts, but all I have to do is post once, and my message gets spread out in so many forms and fashions on so many different sites. It just explodes. So it's a great time saver. What I would do is I'd pay a college kid, give him $50. Here's 20, send him to Starbucks. $25. Here, I need you to set these accounts for me.
Yeah,
Here's the
it's
password. Here's 25 right now. I'll come back in 4 or 5 hours. And then when you come back, if they've done a good job, then you give them the other 25 and a gift certificate to Chili's or TGI Fridays or something, or a Pizza Inn 2-for-1 coupon or something. The reason college kids will do that, because it's cash money, and then if you give a gift card, which is another $25, that's date night. So they get $50 in date night, and it's only cost you $75 to take care of all that for you. So I'd rather give do it like that than me do it myself. So IFTTT, hire a college student to set up the accounts, give them $50, 25 up front. That way they can buy their Starbucks stuff. The other 25 when they're finished, give them a gift certificate. They did a good job. And then winner, chicken dinner, you're going to do great stuff. So those are your tips. That's just, part of the tips I wanted to share with you guys about sharing information and get it out there. That way you don't have to be up till 2 or 3 in the morning. Look at me working online. So you don't want to know what I'm doing online at 2 or 3 in the morning. So it's like, it's not what you think. I know what you're thinking.
No, but it is exhausting when you're trying to get it all out there, and
When you're a solo entrepreneur.
When you're solo and you're doing all of it, because I did hire someone to do it, but I told him I'm going to be a very difficult client because I don't really trust anybody that they're going to, come through for me.
Yeah.
Right.
And
That's hard.
And he didn't
trust.
And he didn't.
That's a good point.
And so I didn't pay everything up front, and I had increments, but it wasn't what was promised.
Right.
And so I got out of that and learned a lot, and I'm doing a lot on my own, but it is exhausting because you'll wake up. This is a typical entrepreneur. You wake up at 1, 2, 3 in the morning, and you're like, oh, and you start working, and then all of a sudden it's 6, 7 in the morning. And I've got notepads all over my house because ideas pop in my head constantly. And I'm like,
My bed. I have a king size bed, and I've got 2 laptops. I've got notepad, so I wake up and just work. And it might be, I want to promote this in, another country that's a way different time zone.
Right.
So it's like, okay, I'm going to get up at this time so I can actually engage in conversation with someone in, the Middle East or China or wherever, and do that. So
Both of you guys are on the thread of trust is an issue.
yeah.
So how do you find people to trust, though? You have to talk to your friends. You go online. I mean, there's a point. It's like, word of mouth. What is it that gives you that you can trust somebody? How do you feel? Because again, solo entrepreneurship is the toughest thing in the whole world.
It's
But
really hard.
But you have to give up. You have to give up something.
I mean, I think we were talking before. A lot of it is your gut instinct.
Right.
So that's part of it. Go with your first feeling. Someone being referred to me, and then I really watch. If I'm hiring someone to run one of my stadiums, my TABC, which is very critical, it has to be precise. You have to trust the person. Interview them, watch them. I like to watch people work. I like to see interaction and really scope things out, but I take my time. It takes a while to build full trust up. And with me, I may not ever have full trust.
Right.
But it does take a while.
Is it micromanaging?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think you know if someone is really good at what they do. Unfortunately, a lot of startups or a lot of other entrepreneurs, it's really difficult to give them a chance because, unfortunately, that was 2 of the companies that I hired in the app world. So you do at times get what you pay for. There are exceptions out there. There are. But if you're trying to do everything on the cheap and not invest, sometimes taking the easy way is the hardest way. And I learned that the hard way. and it's disheartening, but oh my gosh, I learned so much. I mean, because I try to figure everything out on my own.
Right.
And so if this isn't working, well, I'm going to figure out why it's not working and teach them. And, you have to be open to all the failures, the difficulties, the time management, the no personal life. It is 24/7, but you have to have a good attitude about it because otherwise, it could be so self-defeating. If you don't know who you really are and what your true talents and gifts are, being an entrepreneur is not going to work for you, because you have to know your strengths and where you need to pull your resources from. You've got to have people who have opposite strengths than you, or it won't work.
Karen, so this goes back to when you're in your 30s. You were an entrepreneur before then, but in your 30s, you became a very successful one. What was the tipping point that you realized that the spa world, that, was it the trend, or what made you pick that thing to go like, and then you could have sold for $8 million had you not been, built out of it?
Yeah, for me, it was when I was diagnosed with lupus. So I was diagnosed, and I was, under several doctors' care and the medications, and I was getting sicker and going to the hospital, and I started researching alternative, holistic ways of staying in remission, and not going into the flare-ups. And so I would go probably to 3 or 4 doctor's appointments a week, and they would be for alternative, the alternative, but they were all over different cities. So then, I saw myself, maintaining a good lifestyle, and I felt good, and I was doing good. So I thought, I need to create a wellness mall. And I thought, okay, a total wellness, and you have oxygen therapy, hydrotherapy, compound pharmacy, a fitness center, health.
That costs money though,
cafe.
Karen. I ain't got that type of money. Give me a tip here, Karen. How can I start a business without having all that type of money? What'd you do to get you went to the bank?
I went to the bank. I started with one facility, and then I was diagnosed with my illness, and I decided then, okay, I'm going to move to Colleyville, up and coming area back in the 90s. I found a space, rented it, and I said, when I hit 3,000 clients and a certain revenue stream, I'm going to expand into this center. And right about the time I hit that, I actually got approached by a developer who had a perfect piece of land, and he had been watching my business grow. And he said, I'd love to do a build to suit. And so I started negotiating creative financing. And, at that time I was in my late 30s, and this was a $2 million build out, for the first building, and then the same for the second. So, how can I qualify for that? So I went through, and we did very creative, implemented a great program, and we built it out. And I did a lease from him, a lease to purchase. And after a year, I had the history and was able to qualify for SBA loans.
So let's give a little tip then. Give the watchers and viewers and listeners a little tip on how to structure something like that. If you got not too drawn out, but something kind of.
Yeah, just, especially women. There are so many programs for a woman-owned business, minority and women-owned.
How do they find that?
You can Google it, go online,
Okay.
SBA. You have SBA, but you have other programs where, there was one this past year, loaning up to $10 million with very little down. These programs are
Get
out
it, Denise,
there.
and hire me.
Yes, I'll refer you to a couple people.
There you go. There you go.
But there's so much out there, and people don't realize it. They don't realize the funds available for minority and women-owned businesses. So I would say to any woman, don't think, oh, I can't do this. I mean, I did not have a 4-year college degree. I
Me
didn't
either.
have the strong background.
Oh,
but
isn't that funny?
I mean, I went in there and I said, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm game, and I took the jump, the leap of faith, and I had the passion and determination and relentless, of never giving up, and built it. But you can do it. I mean, any woman out there, you can do it if you have the mindset. But it has to always be positive and never give up. Don't say, oh, I can't do this, but maybe I'll try. You can't. You say, I'm going to do it.
Well,
Just leave me alone. I'm going to go do it.
and
That's it.
Denise, that's what you did.
That's what she
Yes.
did. Yeah.
Which I think is really cool also. I've got a little clip from your website, Denise, that because you're always so positive. I've seen your struggles, both of your struggles and travails and stuff, but you've generally kept a very positive attitude about the things. So this is from Nonstop Bella. This is the website from Nonstop Bella. I got this cute little clip from Denise. And why would you just play that? It's me setting it up.
Hi, happy Earth Day. You know, every year we make New Year's resolutions on how to improve our bodies or our lives, etc. Well, how about every year we do that same thing for Earth Day, but for our planet? There are so many things you can do to get rid of all of the plastic out there and help our landfills. And some simple things you can do that just take a little tweaking in your habits are bring your own bags to the grocery store. I know we all try to do this, and we throw them in the car and then we forget they're there and get home and go, oh, you know, I wish I would have had these. But try really hard to do this. It really saves a lot with all of the plastic bags that are floating around in the ocean. The other thing is don't buy plastic water bottles. Buy something you can refill and wash, and then buy something like this that has a great filter in it. This is zero water. You fill it up, put it in the refrigerator. It's got the spigot. You can refill anything, or put a filter on your faucet. It's just very simple. So do what you can to save the planet, because it's all we have. And happy Earth Day.
So Denise, I'm thinking you've got a niche that you really haven't explored too heavily yet.
Yes.
Like this, you had to do it yourself. How to fix luggage, the hard, what do you call it,
Yeah,
hardcover?
hard shell luggage.
I would have played that video, but it was 10 minutes long, and I didn't want the whole show to be about Denise, because it's not the lunch with Denise Walry, it's the lunch with Tim Vasquez. So it's all
Yes.
about me.
Yes.
But so now I'm going to go into both y'all's things. I'm going to give some advice and perhaps, whatever, but I want you to throw some things back at me too. So when I looked at your site, not that it's all over the place with Nonstop Bella, but I don't think there's a specific mindset to it. It's like, I should be doing this. You're saying some of these things, but I think I think one of your focuses should absolutely be having yourself for hire online as like a concierge to find things for people, because there's a niche for that, because people will
Yes.
pay. And it's like, holy cow. When you were talking about that, and it's like $75,000 earrings, her husband's a billionaire and he ain't gonna pony up that. I would have gone to Etsy, paid $5 and said, yeah, this is a $10,000 earring right here. That's what I would have done. Again, me being who I am, and boy, what a pocket change I would have. So, so part of my advice on your stuff, a little bit more focus. I think that the personal concierge, online personal concierge, to find things that's usually good at. And for women or for moms or the things that, people that live in Uptown, those type of things. I think you've got an amazing niche for that you haven't explored yet. But I think part two of that niche is that do-it-yourself stuff. The Earth Day video, I love that. It's so cute. I love that. And you're giving advice. In that video, though, I probably would have, was the product name, did you mention the product name for that little filter?
Yes.
Okay. I would have tagged that in the video.
That is another deal with being an entrepreneur. So the resources. So I did hire someone and they were going to do the videos and pictures, wasn't happy with them. So my mind goes, I'll just buy the stuff and do it myself. So that's what I did. So I do all my own videos, and then I had to learn editing, which was a nightmare, but I did it. And actually, my phone and my laptop have a ton of videos that haven't even been posted yet, just
Wow.
because I don't have time. And it's so much fun. Love doing it, but I was telling someone the other day, I'm kind of sick of myself. It's all, you sit there and you write these scripts all day, videotape yourself all day, and you have to do several takes to get it right. Then you edit and look at yourself the rest of the time on the computer. And I'm going, oh my God, that's all I do is me. And I'm like, nobody's talking back. This is like crazy.
But there's nothing wrong with that.
No, but it gets tiring
I get that.
sometimes. Yeah. It's kind of like, oh my God, I just want another human to talk to for a second.
Sure. And I think that for the three of us, and that's probably the toughest thing, is that we don't always have people around
Yes.
to do these things. All right, your turn, young lady. So you got these baseball stadiums going up all over. You just got Rivershore Park.
Rivershore, and we announced LaGrave in our league.
Oh, yeah. And
For April.
so in 2019.
Three historical stadiums: Joplin, Missouri, which was where Mantle started.
Right.
You've got Rivershore, and then LaGrave, and those three stadiums, you have 150 years of baseball, which is the Babe Ruths and the Mantles and all these great guys. They played there.
But you're going through politics. with these cities.
Yeah.
You're
Going in front of parks and city,